We are continuing the conversation about the future of work, and joining us right now in an exclusive interview is Brent Saunders, the CEO of Bausch Lomb. And new this morning, Brent is joining the board of Roam. It's a software platform we've featured on the program before for virtual work meetings, founded by serial entrepreneur Howard Lerman before he returned to the helm of Bausch Lomb earlier this year. Brent served as a board member to Cisco, the company behind another meeting tool, WebEx. Good morning to you, Brent.
Good morning, Andrew. How are you?
I'm great. It's nice to see you. We haven't seen you in a long time, but thrilled to see you now. We're doing it remotely, which is sort of the way of the world, I guess. The question, I think, is we have this pull-push fight taking place around the country, all over the country, with various businesses taking different positions on what it means to be hybrid, what it means to be in office, what it means to be something else. What is your real long-term bet on what takes place?
Yeah, look, I don't think we ever go back to where we were. And it's interesting because I used to be a real stickler about work was in the office and everybody needed to be in the office. And, you know, the great experiment we got to do with the pandemic of having people remote really opened my eyes to a lot of the benefits. But there's still some issues around how to engage people remotely. And the technology hasn't kept up. And that's where a tool like Roam gives us the ability to still keep engagement and productivity high while having our employees all over the place. And last, Andrew, I would just add this, if I could, I'm sorry. There's take a company like Bausch Lomb. We may have an office in New Jersey, but I have offices all over the world. In fact, my leadership team, I have somebody who reports to me sitting in Shanghai and in Europe. So we're never in the same office to begin with.
So explain to the public, and we've tried to explain it, I think, to folks what Roam actually is. It's a little bit hard to describe unto itself without actually seeing and playing with it, but take a stab.
Yeah, so you're right. It is hard to really appreciate Roam without actually seeing it. But it's basically a virtual headquarters. It's a way to map your organization remotely and have people be able to work together instantaneously. So you get back to those casual engagements. I think one of the greatest statistics of Roam is the average meeting in Roam is 8 minutes. Think about your average video conference on Zoom or Teams or whatever it is. You schedule for a half hour or an hour. Roam in and of itself, because the way it's set up, you can have a casual interaction. It could be audio. It could be video. You could have the big meeting. You could have a big theater and do your town hall. But everything is there and it's mapped no matter where you are in the world. You can engage with your employees, which is the holy grail of all efficient enterprises.
Well, what is your sense, though, when you talk to other CEOs of where their head is at? There is a sense, I mean, we also talk, by the way, about office real estate. I think people are very trying to be supportive of their local community insofar as they actually want people back in the office, as much to advertise their own real estate as it is to keep everybody else that's in that community employed. And I'm talking about the restaurants and the dry cleaners and this. I mean, there's sort of a whole ecosystem, obviously, that we've built around this country. And I think the bigger question even is longer term. If Roam is in fact the future, if this is where it all heads, or at least there's some hybrid, if it's some kind of hybrid from a policy perspective, what are we supposed to do when you look at some of these cities that have been almost just hollowed out?
Yeah, look, I mean, I think at some point we're already there, right? And even the return to office mandates that are coming are 3 days a week. They're not 5 days a week. And so, I think we as CEOs, we have to look at it responsibly. And, my first calling is okay, how do we keep our employees engaged and productive? Then it's how do we make our products better and how do we innovate? And then, of course, how do we support the communities in which we operate? And so it's always a balancing act. The reality is I think we're going to be in smaller footprints. I think we're going to be more in hoteling-like offices. And I think we're always going to have some sort of hybrid approach to doing that. And look, today it's harder for companies to think about hybrid because we don't have great tools in the toolbox, right? We have video conferencing, very clunky, inefficient. I always think of the video conferences where bureaucracy goes to grow and decisions go to die, right? We need more of that spontaneous interaction. We need the quick interactions. We need the way to engage with employees like we used to when you could walk down the hall and knock on somebody's office. And so as those tools like Rome continue to improve and build better efficiency, I think the equation that CEOs are going to look at is going to be more balanced. They're going to have better tools to do it.
Brent, we got to run. Just real quick, productivity, you seeing this similar productivity? Or you think it's up or down? Because some people have actually argued both ways.
Yeah, I actually think it went up, and then it kind of peaked, and then it's starting to come down as we get better tools. I think we'll see another spike. That's why I'm so excited about Rome.